skypoker.com. Poker comes alive.
It's been a year of change at Arsenal. Highbury's been replaced, the vice-chairman has departed, and now Arsene Wenger's future is uncertain. But some things remain the same. There's always been a power struggle with Spurs, and after 3 hostile meetings so far this season, the battle for North London supremacy continues today.
Arsenal have beaten Tottenham comprehensively.
"98 years of history between these two teams, regardless of league positions in these parts. This is the game that matters. 17 games since Spurs fans tasted victory over their biggest rivals. But it has been a week of major upheaval at Arsenal. Live from the Barclays Premiership. It's Tottenham Hotspur against Arsenal, and remember, also available in high definition on channel 483 if you have an HD set and box. Well, the North London derby is always dramatic enough. Without the week that Arsenal have just had, David Dein, their vice-chairman, departing, Stan Kroenke, the American billionaire, increasing his shareholding to over 12%. I'm delighted to say that George Graham, a former Tottenham manager and also Arsenal manager for 9 years, joins us. George, I wonder, have you been surprised by this week's developments?
Shocked, I think, Dave, is a word. But it's a sad day, really, for David Dein in particular. He was involved with the club. He just wasn't a businessman sitting on the board. He was involved in day-to-day business with Arsenal and Arsenal as well. And it's really a sad day for him. Whether it's a sad day for Arsenal, I don't think we'll know for quite some time yet, because there's a lot still got to come out.
Is it your impression that he was forced out rather than leaving on his own accord?
Well, it definitely seems that way, doesn't it? Even though nobody's really said or even indicated whether he resigned or he was pushed or not. So I think that's up for question, that one.
I suppose the other strange thing, George, is the fact that Arsenal's boardroom squabbles are being played out in public, which I don't think has ever happened before, has it?
Very unusual. But if you really look at their statement, they don't really say too much, Dave, and that's always been the Arsenal way, to keep things in-house. Don't display, what's going on at the club. And as I said earlier, nobody can really give a true opinion of what's happening until you hear a lot more of the facts.
Well, how has Arsene Wenger reacted to the departure of his close friend and boardroom ally?
It has been disturbing, but of course I feel as well, in a big club, part of it is to make the difference between what's happening, the adversity that happens around the team and the club, and the focus you can get from your players and from yourself to prepare for the game, and that's what it is all about.
What effect has David's departure had on you personally?
Well, it is sad because we had a close relationship and a good understanding, and for 10 years you work with people together. Of course it creates a big bond, and but David had always Arsenal's interest in his heart, and he will want me to go on and continue to develop the club and the team as well and as strongly as I can.
Have you been surprised by what's happened?
Yes.
In terms of the build-up, what effect has it had on the players?
Well, the players were surprised, of course, and shocked, but we want, like I am, they want to focus now on the game and try to win the game.
David Dein will want me to go on, but George, do you think he will?
Yes, I think so. I think Arsenal's a total professional. He will definitely be upset at David's departure. But no, he will sort of go on with the club. He's got a great vision there. The stadium's been built at last. He's got a young, outstanding team, you know, and I think the problem is going to come probably in a year to 18 months' time when Arsenal's contract comes to an end.
But before that, does he need a director of football in place?
I don't think so. No, I think see David Dean did all the negotiations, or the majority of negotiations, when it came to players' contracts. So the players will know David Dean's face, but not necessarily know the rest of the directors. It's just a sad day all round, really.
Well, it's being billed as a battle between the traditionalists and the American investors. But what do the Arsenal fans make of it? We've been asking a few here this afternoon.
I think my opinion is that as long as Arsenal keep the traditions and the owners actually have got passion for the club and they don't look upon it as a financial move, then I think it'll be a good move.
Well, I'm quite in favour of it myself. I think David Dean has the club's interests at heart, and I think Kroenke is he's a man who's invested in sports, and he's done well with the franchises he has, and I think it would be a good thing.
Well, I was a bit sad to see Dean leave. I think all the supporters are worried what the outcome is going to be with Arsene Wenger, and that's the most important thing, keeping him at the club.
Arsene Wenger, he's the life and soul at the moment. He's taking everybody forward. What's going to happen when he leaves? Because Dean's out, Wenger's next, I think.
I think there's a lot going on that we don't know about. I suspect there are reasons for the fallout in the board that haven't yet emerged. I suspect there's been some deceit over share dealing, which was unacceptable. Apart from the fact it's just public knowledge, isn't it? The chairman and others do not wish for an American takeover.
That last gentleman speaking as an Arsenal shareholder. But George, we have this situation at Arsenal, foreign manager for the last 10 years, not one English player in the lineup today. Does it actually matter who owns the football club?
Well, if you think about it, Dave, there's some major companies in Britain, and they're owned by foreign companies. And here we've got football now, and they're saying football is not a sport anymore, it's big business. So really, why shouldn't foreign investors buy into the sport, especially the football clubs in England? As long, as everybody understands, what they're up to, and but nobody can tell, nobody will be able to tell until quite a few years in time if these investments by these foreign companies are going to be good for the game.
We have a massive game here this afternoon. This is how things stand in the Barclays Premiership, with Arsenal sitting there in fourth and it seems just about assured of a Champions League qualifying place. Spurs have some work to do to get into the UEFA Cup competition themselves. Seventh would be good enough. George, how important is it that they get into Europe?
Oh, it's very important. If you just look at the tables there, Arsenal, they're all saying it's a crisis at Arsenal. It would be a mini crisis if they didn't finish in the top four. That's number one. And then you look at Tottenham. Last year, they looked as if they were going to finish fourth. They've slipped, in my opinion, a bit this season. But I think it would be a big disappointment if Spurs didn't get into Europe.
All right, George, thanks very much for the moment. Just a reminder that today's game will be encrypted in just a minute and available then only to Prem Plus season ticket holders or to viewers who have made individual match buys. If you haven't yet ordered the game, you can do so right now. For Sky Digital customers, simply press select on your remote, follow the on-screen instructions or call 08705 160 160, that number again, 08705 160 160, and cable customers should contact their local operator. Well, the atmosphere is hotting up at White Hart Lane. Let's get across to our commentary team this afternoon, Tony Gale and Alan Parry.
Well, these Arsenal fans are praying that the week's events off the field don't lead to any problems on it, because this is a game they desperately want to win. At the end of a disappointing season, losing to Tottenham would be the final kick in the teeth for Arsenal, and Spurs are in the mood to deliver that kick. Apart from the obvious matter of local pride, they need the points to help them qualify for Europe. Skipper Ledley King is fit again and plays his first Premiership game for over 3 months, and Robbie Keane has overcome a knee injury to continue his flourishing partnership with Dimitar Berbatov.
Well, this Spurs back four looks a lot stronger with Ledley King in it, Alan, and I must say that they have been having
big struggles when they're defending. They're great going forward, but they're very susceptible at set pieces and in general play. A worry for me would be Russia at left back. A natural centre-back, he's going to have a few problems on that right-hand side of Arsenal's, picking up Kleb and maybe the runners getting in behind him. Moving into midfield, I think the midfield is a strong area for Spurs. Tainio in for Malbronk. He's in on that right-hand side, and he'll just tuck in a little bit to help Zakura and Genius. That'll allow Aaron Lennon down that left-hand side to get forward as much as possible. And up front, well, it's just class. I think these two ooze class, Berbatov and Keane, and must be amongst one of the best partnerships in the Premiership. Victories against Bolton and Manchester City have got Arsenal back on track following 3 successive defeats, their worst losing sequence in 16 months. Arsene Wenger is forced to make 2 changes, one positional from the midweek game. Cesc Fabregas is suffering from a virus, so Abu Diaby drops back into midfield, and that makes room for the return of Freddie Ljungberg, who missed the Manchester City game with a hamstring problem. Well, again, Alan, we're talking about an Arsenal team that's wonderful in possession of the ball, but also has its problem at the back. Eboué, Touré, Gallas, Clichy, all good, comfortable on the ball, but just have their little tendencies to lose concentration and to concede sloppy goals. They'll have to be more concentrated today, particularly against the likes of Berbatov and Keane. In midfield, Kleb and Rosicky, replacing Ljungberg and Pires on those wide sides from years gone by. They've been magnificent, but they haven't contributed enough in goal-scoring terms, and I think they'll be wanting to get a lot more out of them. Gilberto and Diaby, they'll be tying down in the middle of the midfield and be the legs and try and supply the ball, much ball to Ljungberg. He's not averse to playing in this position. He likes this position, and he'll like to get beyond Adebayor, the lone striker up front, and get in behind with those well-timed runs. Well, Arsenal have enjoyed some great moments at White Hart Lane in recent times. They clinched their last championship here 4 seasons ago now, and a couple of years later had that incredible 5-4 win in what was Martin Jol's first game as Tottenham's manager. But could today be a different story? Arsenal have fallen below their own high standards this season, and although players always tell you that they're immune to what goes on behind the scenes, they're bound to have been affected by the fallout following David Dean's departure. He was the director who was closest to the dressing room and, of course, closest to the manager. So could this be the day when Tottenham finally get the better of their neighbours? Certainly a win for them against Arsenal is long overdue. The Gunners are unbeaten in the last 17 North London derbies, stretching back over 7 years, and a big game for both teams today. Massive game, I think, Alan, and I think a game that's been played in excellent conditions. Pitch will be nice and fast. They both like playing good football, and I just anticipate a good game. The off-the-field stuff for Arsenal, I think, will be forgotten once they cross this white line. And the North London derby, obviously, the great excitement of the fans in the stadium as well. High-octane stuff, and I think we're in for a nice, fast game. Gilberto will lead Arsenal today. Ledley King back wearing the skipper's armband. His first appearance in a league game since Boxing Day. He's missed 24 matches, made his return after injury in the UEFA Cup tie against Sevilla, and they'll need him. Last week's game against Wigan really encapsulated Tottenham's season in 90 minutes. Brilliant going forward, vulnerable at the back. It's the 4th time they've met this season, and up to now, Spurs have been frustrated every time. There's a long summer ahead, and Tottenham are desperate to give their fans a day that they can look back on with pride. With vital points at stake in the race to qualify for Europe, there's a lot to play for in the sunshine at White Hart Lane. We're live, Tottenham against Arsenal.
We're at White Hart Lane this afternoon for the 155th North London derby. Tottenham against Arsenal. A reminder as well, you can access the interactive services via the red button on your handset and find us in HD on channel 483. Your commentators this afternoon, Tony Gale and Alan Parry.
Well, it's 7 long years since Tottenham last beat Arsenal, and Freddie Ljungberg is the only man from either club who played in that game. He'll be hoping to cause plenty of problems today for the returning Spurs skipper Ledley King, who makes his first appearance in the Premiership since Boxing Day. Tottenham will get us underway. Their 55th game of the season, and they've still got nothing to show for it. Out of Europe and the FA Cup in the quarter-finals, beaten by Arsenal in the Carling Cup, and in danger of finishing outside the top 6 in the Premiership. For them, the best way to make up for those disappointments would be victory against the old enemy. But that's something that Spurs have managed just once in the last 25 North London derbies. Beautiful warm sunshine as we get underway here. Berbatov getting the good contact on the first header. There's Clem for Arsenal. Berbatov wins it back. Didn't quite slide it through to Keane. They have an uncanny understanding, those two, of each other's game. Dawson, Zakura. Chimbonda back where he would prefer to be at right back. He's played it left back and centre back in recent weeks. Zakura looking for the run by Berbatov. Gallas has given it away to Berbatov.
Well, he's extremely unlucky there, isn't he, Berbatov? Gallas, I think, guilty of not seeing the runner in behind him. Toure let him run off him as well. You can see, in behind. He's tried to head it back to Lehmann. He's nowhere near getting it back, and Berbatov just trying to reverse it back over Lehmann's head. Really unlucky here, because the ball's slightly behind him. He's only got one stab at it, and he can't get it on target. And a lucky escape for Gallas.
Berbatov scored here against Arsenal in the Carling Cup in January. Gallas didn't play in that game. In fact, today is his first ever North London derby, although he played against Tottenham many times as a Chelsea player and never lost. One back by Tainio. Keane. But a good start by Tottenham, as you'd expect.
I think they always start well here at White Hart Lane, Alan. I think they come out the traps quickly. The pitch is nice and quick. There's the first loose challenge there from Diaby. Doesn't get a yellow card, which is nice to see. Otherwise, it might have been the order of the day. But I think now the referee has to show the same leniency to everyone else. But this nice slick surface, I think, means you can get a quick start. And it's so important for Spurs to do that.
Jermaine Genius with the free kick. Dawson signalling the ball to be played up high towards the far post. It's gone sailing over his head straight to Lehmann. Good early ball out as well by the Arsenal keeper. Dawson having to backpedal. Shot on this by Gallas. Adebayor is dispossessed by Zakura. Successive games in the Premiership before losing at Chelsea and then drawing last week at Wigan. Zakura. Shadowed by Ljungberg. Here's Dawson. Tainio. It's a good ball again for Berbatov. Let's go to Spurs.
Well, he isn't quick, but it's a great timed run, and he catches Clichy out. Clichy thinks he's going to go short, and then spins in behind, and Tainio spots the run. You don't have to be quick to get in behind defenders, you have to be clever. And Berbatov certainly is that.
Ledley King, one of the problems that Arsenal have to deal with here. His last goal was against the Gunners 16 months ago now. Having a word with Diaby and Berbatov. These two still jostling. Another corner.
You see Lehmann getting himself worked up about it already. Berbatov really on his toes, and you look, he's worrying about Berbatov already. Look, how can I get out the way of Berbatov? He's got to concentrate on that ball and the flight of the ball. Here you go again. He's worrying, he's getting flustered. Is he going to do something silly?
Chimbonda getting up well. Cleared by Rosicki to Clem. No way forward for him. Gilberto gives it away. Genus. Zakora. And now Keane. Quick turn by Lennon. Opens up space. Berbatov. Zakora. Got away from Ljungberg.
Nice build-up. Not the finish to match from Zakora, but Keane and Berbatov dropping deep, asking the questions of defenders with their movement. Eventually it sets up to Zakora, and it's not the best of finishes with that long-range shot. So clever, the two strikers, Keane and Berbatov, both equally good. They're just dropping off deep and asking questions of defenders. Do you want to come in there with me, or do you want to stay defending? So hard to mark when you've got two clever players like that.
Zitsky. Lovely return ball, the referee got in the way there. Zakora wins it back. A lovely little flick by Keane. Genus. He's hoping Lennon would be wider than that. He still picks him out though. And his cross was a good one. Away by Gallus. Russia. Lennon again. To shoot, and he got caught in two minds. Wilson. Chimbonda. They have to go back to goalkeeper Robinson, but Tottenham having a good period of possession here in the opening few minutes. Russia. Berbatov. Offside.
Obviously Pat Wright's down on the line, and he's really shouting at his defence. He wants them pushed up. He don't want all this space appearing for the strikers to drop off deep into. He wants that defence to push up, condense the play a little bit more. Good start from Spurs, particularly that nice little movement, Robbie Keane in midfield. Eventually isolating Lennon one-on-one with Abui. That's what they want to do. Right? A little bit of movement and then isolate players one-on-one.
Keane finds Berbatov. Goes for the return, didn't quite get there. Toure for the interception. Tinier. Blocked by Gilberto this time.
You see Berbatov coming off deep again, and Toure not getting tight, allowing him to turn. Now you've got to be very, very careful, because he can pick out that final pass, as can Keane. You've got to get a lot tighter, those centre-backs, Gallas and Toure.
Keane. For Lennon to chase. This season, but their last half a dozen games here sum up their inconsistency. 3 wins, 3 defeats. Diaby trying to pick out Adebayor, and it might reach him yet. Chimbonda just prevents the corner.
Good full-back play by Chimbonda, round on the cover. That was so important. Wilson just miscued, trying to get it back, and Chimbonda was quick round.
Rosicki, Gilberto. Here's Clichy for Arsenal. Header for Chimbonda, but he's given it away. Clap. Abue. This is more like it from Arsenal when they do regain possession. It's very difficult to get the ball back off them. Gilberto. Adebayor beaten to it by Russia. And Diaby loses out in the challenge with Zakora, who drive forward here. Terrific run. No free kick.
Good defending by Toure. Didn't make Zakora's mind up for him. He was going down a cul-de-sac in the end. Stood up right to the last moment.
Clichy to take on Chimbonda. Antonio stabs it away. Now Clamp. Clichy still a long way forward here for Arsenal. Rosicki makes the run for him. It's Arsenal's first corner. Arsenal have beaten Tottenham twice this season in the league and the Carling Cup, and drew here in the first leg of the Carling Cup semi-final. Toure coming forward. Diaby and Adebayor and Gallas all good headers of the ball. Not the best corner though, easily cleared by Berbatov. Showed it to Keane and skipped past his challenge. Ljungberg onto Adebayor! Brilliant goal by Arsenal, however, it will be ruled out by the linesman's flag.
The linesman was calling offside on Freddie Ljungberg as soon as that ball was whizzed in. You can see it's whizzed in there. That's really, really close. That is a close call for the linesman. Just flicks it round the corner. It's a great touch from Ljungberg, and Adebayor, strangely enough, his first chance at a finish, and he does so.
How ironic a criticism of Arsenal this season has been that their flowing moves have failed to provide a finish. This time they did, and it didn't count.
Well, I think that's an harsh offside call. I think the benefit of the doubt we've been calling must be going to the strikers, and that was very, very close on Ljungberg.
And here he goes again, Adebayor. Robinson to the rescue for Tottenham. Russia. Great quick feet there from Zakura. Keane wants it early and gets it. Berbatov slipped at the vital moment and then was caught offside.
It was a great finish by that man, but Ljungberg, was he offside? You can see there, just as he plays the ball, very, very close, wasn't it? Great touch, first touch from Ljungberg. I think the key was that he just came back a yard from an offside position, and in doing so, when he came back on, that's why he gave it offside. But it was a jolly close one, wasn't it?
Berbatov, Clichy, onto Rosicki. Terrific atmosphere here. Very often these early lunchtime kickoffs take a while to warm up. Not today. No danger in this meeting of old enemies. Rosicki, Gilberto, here's Toure, Abue. Diaby. Curling ball snapped clear by King. Backing into Toure. Now Abue. Clapp. He's continued his run, the right back. Where does he go from here though? He knew. Diaby. Clapp. Adebayor. Strong. Diaby. Here's Clapp.
See Alan Hotspur's back behind the ball, just leaving Berbatov up front. Robbie Keane just coming back, sitting in front of that midfield as well. Eventually Arsenal pass it out of play, but it's so difficult. That ball into Ljungberg from Gleb was excellent, and that's what happens. You have to get behind the ball very quickly against Arsenal and stop them threading those little balls into the feet of the strikers or midfield players sitting into the pocket. That's the way Arsenal try to play. They try to get it in the feet, in those little pockets, and go from there. You have to block those little holes up.
Arsenal briefly moved up to third in the week after beating Manchester City, but Liverpool went back above them 24 hours later. Liverpool at home to Wigan today. It looks pretty certain, I think, that Liverpool and Arsenal will finish in those last two Champions League places. Which way round? Harder to guess. By no means certain, however, that Tottenham will gain a UEFA Cup spot. There's a lot of competition for those. Martin Jol thinks they'll have to win 4 of their remaining 5 games to qualify for Europe. Abue. Onto Flab. Early for Diaby. Could be dangerous. Adebayor getting up. Away by Genus.
Diaby getting in advanced positions, Gilberto balancing it off by holding in midfield. Diaby getting in those positions down the right-hand side and through the centre. Does look a lot like Patrick Vieira, doesn't he? Those long legs and that sort of languid kind of skills. An excellent young player.
Available again here, still wearing the plaster from a head wound he received against Manchester City. He had to go off early in that game with double vision. Seeing everything right at the moment, though. Gilberto, Clout. All the way to Genus. Now Zakora for Tottenham. Well, there was no doubt that Tottenham came out of the traps flying, but Arsenal have enjoyed superiority over the last few minutes. Clichy. Gilberto, the captain. Still no Henry, of course, still no Van Persie. Two players that Arsenal have really missed. The lack of a consistent goal scorer has really been a problem for them this season. Very sloppy kick there by Lehmann.
Exactly right. He doesn't need that at all, did he? Just puts it straight out of play and gives possession back to Spurs after a couple of minutes possession for Arsenal, taking the real sting out of the game.
Tinio. Rocha to Lennon. Rocha. The ball for Berbatov, the flag's come up, however. Referee's seen it now.
Goes a fraction early. You can see in behind Gallas there, starts his run from behind rather than coming in front and across the defender. That's the key when you're making your runs. Come across and in front and curve that run. Just started the run from behind and was always going to be offside.
Adebayor. Diaby. Andy Clare. Here's a Boer. Challenged by Russia, who did play at left back a few times for his previous club Benfica. It's his first game in that position for Tottenham. Really a centre back, of course. Adebayor. Russia wins the challenge again.
Hasn't been asked the question yet, Russia. I thought they may have got more of the ball to Gleb. A bit out of position, Russia, in the left back spot. Centre back playing left back for me, and maybe Gleb needs to push on a little bit more instead of dropping into the space off the flanks, try and get at him a little bit in wider positions.
There's Ljungberg, who hasn't seen much of the ball yet. Clichy, Rosicki. Tottenham have it back with Dawson. Straight forward for Gallas. He almost made a mess of it, and he has. Rescued by Clichy. Consistent figure in a much-changed Arsenal team this season, Touré. Lennon. Great return ball by Keane if he can get there. Took a double challenge to stop him, but no free kick. Jermaine Genus. Perfectly weighted ball for Chimbonda. Tinio. Again. Worked by Rosicki, but Tottenham get the throw.
We're just looking for Robbie Keane there to sit in the hole, but he's sitting out on his left-hand side. He needs to get a little bit closer to Berbatov for me. And they do link up the pair of them. They great 1 and 2 touch play, and they just slip each other in with little passes down the sides of central defenders. But when Robbie drifts too wide, you can't find him in that pocket just in front of those central defenders. He needs to stay there and make himself a little bit more available.
Gallas wins the header this time. Here's Ljungberg. On to Rosicki. should have done better.
Great play from Adebayor, backing into the defender. Great first touch after Ljungberg. Defender's got no chance of getting the ball there. Look, Lee King, he sets up Ljungberg, and you're right, Alan, he should do better with that. And he was feeling his hamstring after that as well. Little pull at the hamstring. I don't know whether it's because he mishit the shot, or he did pull it slightly.
Well, that was the injury that kept him out on Tuesday against Manchester City. Berbatov. Ziski gives it away to Genus. Now Chimbonda. Tainio. Berbatov. Clichy forced to concede a corner.
Both teams have a weakness defending corners, Alan. Don't mind attacking them, but they do struggle when they're defending them.
King shadowed by Toure. Lehmann just about got there. Clem, and Adebayor already making his run down the centre. He's got to be careful he's not offside. That's why Clem had to turn. He's done well to shake off Sakura. Didn't do so well with the pass though.
He's not looked at his best, I think, his first 20 minutes or so. Gleb on this right-hand side, looking a little bit leggy for me. Normally a lot brighter with his ideas and quicker with his feet. Just misplacing a few passes and not looking at his best.
Berbatov, brilliant control. This time, Spurs do get a free kick.
Oh, isn't that great to see a striker take the ball out the air like that? Two defenders around him, and this is a real tough skill. Look at that, just takes it down on the thigh, evades one, tries to go in between two, and does get fouled. Great skill. Not only controlling the ball very deftly, but with the presence of a defender right up his backside and one on the side, that's a great skill.
Referee Dean paces out the wall. Quite a discussion going on amongst a group of Tottenham players as to exactly what they'll do here, which training ground routine will be used. Berbatov's walked away. Genus looking the favourite perhaps. Plan B.
Plan Z and Rose Z, I think that one. Wasn't the best. Never really looked convincing approaching the ball either, did he, Jermaine Genus? Just a couple of steps into it, and just kind of casually strokes it over the bar. Never really looked convinced himself that he was going to hit the target or score a goal.
He needs one more goal, by the way, Jermaine Genus, for the best total of his career. Adebayor's flick on. Sakura. Tainio. Ljungberg wins it back. Rosicki. Clichy. Early ball in, too far for Adebayor. Russia. Lennon. And again. Oh, good skill. He won't be shaken off easily though. Genus. Whoops, well, they get behind Russia. Lost all the impetus of that move. King. Tainio. Finnish international picks out Berbatov. Well defended by Toure. Bit of space here for Rosicki. Early to Adebayor. With an easy interception. It's a reassurance to have him back more than anything else, and he can't be 100% fit.
back in that back four, and they look back their midfield players and his fellow centre-back Dawson, and it's a real assurance that the class players back.
Talking of class players, here's Keane. Zakora. Whoops, a daisy. Not quite. Still waiting for his first Tottenham goal.
Well, that's 2 shots today. I think he's got his boots on his wrong feet. I think one to the left, one to the right.
Washed his feet last night and can't do a thing with them. Manchester United against Middlesbrough is live on Sky Sports 1 and high definition at 5 o'clock tonight. And another Prem Plus game for you tomorrow. Newcastle against Chelsea, vital game there, starting at 1. Well, it's been an absorbing 25 minutes or so here. Both teams have had their little periods of ascendancy in the game as Berbatov flicks it on. Genius. Cleared by Gallas. Now Chimbonda for Tottenham. Tanio under pressure, the crowd warned him. Zakora. Now the Portuguese international Rocha. And again. Zakora. A lot of space on that right-hand side for Chimbonda. Not so much now as Rosicki sprints to him. Clichy. Here's Adebayor. Good strong challenge by Dawson. Old-fashioned sort of centre-half, no nonsense.
This is where they're struggling, I think, to get it in the pockets. That Spurs don't mind them going wide, defending the width of the penalty area, not allowing that pocket just in there for Ljungberg to drop off, or Adebayor to get the screen on in front of the central defenders as Robbie Keane's dropping back, picking up the anchor man in midfield, and then of course one of the midfield players can drop back in front of the centre-backs. They don't mind them having it out there, it's just getting it into the strikers.
Clichy finds Rosicki, back to Freddie Ljungberg. Adebayor the target. He's claiming it came off Ledley King, but goal kick is the verdict. It's been a difficult week for Arsene Wenger, but he does have an incredible record against Tottenham. Just 1 defeat in 24 matches against them as Arsenal's manager. In that time, Tottenham have had 6 different men in charge. Dawson, Genius, Berbatov, clever. Brilliant run by Berbatov. All that was missing was the right ball at the end.
The skills are unbelievable, aren't they? And when a big man's just as comfortable in wide positions, Clichy gets so tight, just flicks it round the corner. He's so clever because he takes the tight line across him and he just doesn't pick it out at the end. Little deflection into the side netting. What a clever striker, though. And there it is in the goal mouth again. Diaby on Berbatov. He's trying to keep him away from Lehmann. And look at Lehmann jumping about.
Referee, well, I think ordered the corners to be retaken because of all that. And he's going to bring out a yellow card for Jens Lehmann by the looks of it. He's also calling over Berbatov.
It's Diaby and Berbatov he's calling over for the little fracas. There's 1.
Diaby, yep.
There's 2. Is there going to be a number 3? No, Lehmann hasn't got one. Diaby and Berbatov, 3. And Lehmann as well. He does get so bothered by people in front of him. Look at him jumping about there. Look, he's not treading on him, Berbatov. Not doing anything, really.
I think the referee could have sorted out that situation without the need to resort to cards. Dawson's header, and it's turned in, and this time it will count. Robbie Keane continues his golden streak.
spot. Just the position that strikers love to be in. Great touch in the air, I think it was, by Dawson, climbing the highest. And there's Robbie in that position for the glance down. And both teams, I said, were susceptible at set pieces. And it's Arsenal who concede first. Great whip ball into the penalty area. Up gets Dawson above Gallas. Good header. And there's Robbie. Great position. Just look at Robbie Keane's position. He starts on Lehmann. He comes off of him. Doesn't get marked. Clichy and Lehmann had him marked there. He comes off of them. And there he is. Just finds himself in a yard of space and deflects it on target. And they go 1-up.
12 goals in his last 11 games for Robbie Keane, who's enjoying his best ever season in terms of goal scoring. Half an hour gone in the North London derby. Tottenham draw first blood, but remember, when the teams met here in the Carling Cup earlier in the season, they actually led 2-0 at one stage in that game and still couldn't go on to win it. By Toure.
You know, Alan, there wasn't anything that Lehmann could have done about that at all. Nothing he could have done about that goal. But all the little business before, it unsettles defenders, you get a lack of concentration. He's so worried about it all. And in the end, it gives you a problem out of nothing, and Spurs go and score a goal.
Keen students of these North London derbies will know that Tottenham have had a habit of taking the lead when they've met in recent seasons. As I mentioned, they've usually failed to hold on to it. Here's Adebayor, Ljungberg. And Arsenal, well, I've lost count of the number of times they've gone a goal behind this season. Ljungberg. It's a corner.
Well, Spurs' chance to defend now. Can they defend a better corner than Arsenal did at the other end? Concentrating the markers. See if Robinson gets as flustered in the Spurs goal.
Great defending by Berbatov. He's got that in his locker as well. Clichy. Clem. Noise levels rise a few more decibels. Brzezinski for Arsenal. Diaby. Tottenham have it back with Lennon. And a bit of space for the goal scorer. And a very good ball to Genius. Lennon is in space, streaming for it. Better ball there, and he might have got in. Rash challenge by Zakora, who will surely have to be yellow carded.
Yeah, yellow carded, but he could have come back, Dean, I think there, Alan, because it's a good break. Turned round the corner first time, they had a great break. Gleb was away, acres of space, he could have come back and then booked him with a yellow card. And he saw, he had to look around, and Arsenal had great possession and are on the counter. I think he could have let that one go on a bit.
Arsenal have now conceded the first goal in 6 of their last 7 games. One comforting statistic, of course, for Arsenal fans is that they've so often come back to win points from a losing position. Adebayor's header. King didn't know it had hit him in the back. Ljungberg has been having treatment from Gary Lewin, presumably for that hamstring he seemed to tweak early on. They patched him up and sent him back into battle.
That's not a good sign, Alan, because immediately he presses that button when he wants to sprint in behind the defence like he does with those great timed runs of his. I think that hamstring may go.
Seems to have been absolutely fated when it comes to the strikers this season. We call him that, and he is in that role today, Freddie Ljungberg. Zakora, having just been yellow carded, was treading a very dangerous tightrope.
Well, a strong challenge and the ball was there to be won. In he came with a... There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever for me. I think that's a great challenge. Diaby was under the flight of the ball. Zakura had a run and jump at it. Good challenge.
Dawson got the call from his keeper. Berbatov, she clears to Ljungberg. It doesn't look right, doesn't look comfortable. Here he is. And he was easily outpaced there by Zakura.
He's just looked over at the bench and I think he's given it no. He's just looked over it. That was the time. He needed to press the button. He just accelerated there. Felt the injury again. He's going to be off.
Well, I have got Julio Baptista. It would be an obvious replacement. As Diaby takes them forward here. Great challenge by Dawson. She's cross dealt with. Gallas. Away by Lennon. Clap. Gilberto. Away by Russia. Clearance finds Berbatov. Surrounded by red shirts. No foul by Kleb. Kleb. Here's Diaby. Aboué. Just got there ahead of Aboué.
There's nowhere to go for Arsenal. They're defending really well, Spurs. As I say, the width for that penalty area, Alan, and they're not letting that pocket occur. Now, there's a substitution for Ljungberg. If it is Fabregas that comes on, maybe that's a better choice rather than having two strikers. Because maybe they can use that extra man in midfield and run from deep positions rather than trying to find their strikers at the moment. From here, they're finding it very difficult to get into the strikers. This is the position here. Just trying to get it into Ljungberg or Adebayor. Can they get it in? No. Sideways, backwards again, and eventually losing possession.
Diaby slips, Keane pounces. And Berbatov with an inch-perfect ball for Zakura. Oh, he got closer, but not close enough.
I think you're right. He is getting closer. Still a fair way off, though. I don't think shooting's his biggest attribute. Zakura. Very competitive midfield player and very, very physical player as well. But there, in those positions, needs to work on that a bit, doesn't he?
Berbatov's header, perfect again to the space ahead of Keane. Too short for Genus. Big shout from the Tottenham fans for a handball, but Diaby, if he did, has got away with it. Claire. Good pressure this from Tottenham. Berbatov. And for once, he gets it wrong.
Well, excellent pressure from Spurs, as you said, Alan, and Lev again getting caught in possession. I don't think he's had the best of afternoon so far, and he's looking for the challenge at the moment.
Well, Kleb's got an injury, and Freddie Ljungberg has gone down in the centre circle.
Well, there's the challenge on Kleb, and I think Lennon was rather pulling out of it than making a bad challenge.
Well, it is going to be Cesc Fabregas. The only slightly surprising aspect of that is that he hasn't been able to train the last couple of days, Fabregas, because of his virus. And on a hot day like this and in such a competitive match, you want to be 100% at your best. But Ljungberg goes off.
Well, he had a susceptible hamstring, and I think this is where it went. That shot that he fired over the top, and you can see him feel that straight away. And Adebayor knocked that little one-touch ball off to him. I think that was when there was the little niggle, and it's got worse during the game.
Well, it's hardly a weakening, is it? Cesc Fabregas coming on for his 150th game for Arsenal, and he's still only 19. He could break all kinds of appearances record at that rate.
Well, I think they'll do what they did in the week. They played in the weak Arsenal. Diaby was the one who pushed on from midfield. He was the one who will support Adebayor. He'll actually play a little bit deeper, I think, because Ljungberg is more of a stay right up pitch kind of striker who drops off, but Diaby will strike from slightly deeper for me.
Clichy. 5 minutes of the half remaining. Robbie Keane's goal on the half-hour mark separates the sides. Gallas up to the excitable Jens Lehmann. Diaby with a flick. Adebayor loses out to Dawson. It's Lamb who picks up the loose ball. Nice touch for Fabregas. Bit heavy, actually. And the boy had to get round the linesman.
There was obstruction there, wasn't it? The boy having a little handshake with him afterwards. There he goes. Look, he tries to run back into play and the linesman can't get out of the way.
Tough. Never panics, does he? Tottenham good value for their lead for you?
I think so, yeah. I think they've created the better of the half chances for me, Alan. I think they've played at a better pace as well. And Berbatov, I think, has been the main danger of the strikers at the moment.
Tottenham's only problem is that they have stopped the opposition from scoring just once in their last 23 games.
Slightly different when that man's at the back. I say there's a big reassurance factor, isn't there? Ledley King back there today. Still have to keep it tight, those Spurs. Still have to keep possession, be patient. They go forward, attack at pace as they have been doing.
Psychologically very important now. They retain this lead going into the interval. They could add to it. Keane didn't get it right this time.
Well, there's two around with a flight of the high ball, trying to nip round the front of Berbatov. Be very, very careful.
Dawson's clearance and Rosicki with an ambitious effort.
There's Robbie Keane's chance. High ball down the middle, tries to nip round the front of Berbatov and miscues his header. Robbie Keane's in. I think he may have done a little bit better than that, Robbie. Very high standard that man's got.
Good header on by Berbatov to Lennon. The step over, opened up space, but it was a disappointing cross. Clem. Rosicki finds Clichy. Now Gilberto. Abué. Football, but can they get some penetration here, Arsenal? Fabregas. Abué. It's a great return ball to Abué. Oh, Adebayor missed. That move deserved a goal.
Magnificent give and go from Abué and Fabregas, wasn't it? Fabregas. Super, he's just come on the pitch. You can see here, look, comes off square, gets in behind. Lennon doesn't follow the run. It's a great strike and it beats Robinson, all ends up. Comes off the post and Adebayor, I think, tries to hit it too hard. Just has to get a side of his foot on it. But tries to really get through the ball. Just put your foot on it and the pace coming back off the post, it goes in the goal. And he tries to generate more pace and fires it high over. Great chance. What a lovely bit of play though down the right-hand side.
so close to his first ever Premiership goal. And Adebayor, well, he hasn't scored in his last 10 league games now. It's his worst ever run for Arsenal in the Premiership. Couple of minutes stoppage time. This is the first time in Arsene Wenger's 11 seasons at Arsenal that they haven't been in contention to win a trophy at this stage of the campaign. Hard to take for a born winner. And a defeat here will make it even harder. Vicious foul. Ruzicki, Adebayor into the space that was intended for Fabregas. Aboué, Clem. Oh, that's clumsy. Regina's caught in possession, to the crowd's dismay. Clem. Won back by Keane. The right thing, just slowed it down. Chimbonda will speed it up again. Keane tried to thread it through to Berbatov.
This is where they work so hard to get back behind the ball, Spurs, I think, in this first half, Alan. I think in the second half they may tire a little bit.
So Berto just keeps it in play. This will be Arsenal's final attack of the half. Diminutive Lennon gets it away, and there's the half-time whistle. Standing ovation for Tottenham as they go off with a 1-0 lead. Robbie Keane's 19th goal of the season, and it's a lead they deserve. Arsenal have been disrupted again by injury. Freddie Ljungberg has been replaced by Cesc Fabregas. Jens Lehmann has had a typically ill-tempered 45 minutes. At half-time in the sunshine at White Hart Lane, it's Tottenham Hotspur 1, Arsenal 0.
And for the 6th time in 9 North London derbies, Spurs have the lead. When we come back, we'll get the thoughts of George Graham, the last Spurs manager to taste victory over Arsenal. But how keen are Spurs to end that 8-year wait? Just ask Robbie. More football to come tonight from La Liga and possibly a return for David Beckham for Real Madrid against Valencia, 9 o'clock Sky Sports Extra. Tomorrow night, the leaders in action, Barcelona, away to Villarreal, 7:45 on Sky Sports 1. Half-time here at White Hart Lane. Spurs lead the North London derby by 1-0. George, they deserve that lead at half-time?
Yes, I think so, Dave. Up until 30 minutes, I thought it was a game of chess. It wasn't like a local derby. There wasn't a lot of fire. There wasn't a lot of physical contact. It was more a tactical game, and I thought Martin Jol got it 100% right. When they were in possession, pushing forward, I thought Berbatov and Robbie Keane for 45 minutes, I think they've been outstanding, causing Arsenal all sorts of problems at the back. But when they lost possession, they actually withdrew, and that's very unlike Spurs, to withdraw, get everybody back behind the ball, make it difficult for Arsenal, with the exception of Berbatov. They left him up on his own up front. Everybody, including Robbie Keane, was back, really packing the defence, making sure Arsenal weren't sort of getting through the middle, of which Arsenal always play through the middle of you. And I thought Martin Jol got it right the majority of the time in that first half.
Just wonder if Arsenal have led to their own downfall in some respects. The behaviour of Jens Lehmann, he's at it again.
It amazes me, you know, Lehmann's been there now for, 4 years, Dave, and it keeps on getting upset. Look at the push, first of all.
This was after 5 minutes, George,
yeah.
And then this, the corner before the goal.
I can't believe, I mean, the way he carries on, an experienced goalkeeper, 37 years of age, every year he knows he's going to be pushed into set pieces, whether it's corner kicks or free kicks, and it seems to upset him.
And then this follows just minutes later. He's pushing again. Is that caused the goal?
I wouldn't say that caused it, not this one, because I think it was Clichy was picking up Robbie Keane here. Look at Clichy, he's attracted to the ball, doesn't know where Robbie Keane is. He should still be picking Robbie Keane up there. But Lehmann, for his experience, really, he should be able to handle a situation. And if somebody's standing in front of him, just let them stand there. He's got one of his own defenders in front of him, so there shouldn't be any problem. He's got another big reach, about 2 feet above his head to get the ball. There shouldn't be a problem. He's creating his own problems.
Arsenal also had their moments towards the end of that first half. A wonderful chance for Emmanuel Aboué. Does this show really that they can
Lovely
hurt
football,
Spurs?
beautiful. A little give and go here. Good attacking play by Aboué. Good strike again. And actually, although it looked an easy chance, I thought, is it Tenyo? I thought he did very well here, just throwing himself, making it difficult.
Does he react quickly enough, though, Adebayor, there for you?
No, because you know how tall is he? 6'4", and you know his probably feet are not as quick as probably some of the rest of the Arsenal players. But I thought, is it Taino did very, very well there, just throwing himself as Aboué was just ready to sort of Adebayor was just ready to sort of tap it in.
Well, Adebayor has gone 10 league games without a goal. He thought he'd broken that duck much earlier, but here, Freddie Ljungberg ruled offside, George. Freeze it there.
Well,
is there daylight?
Not for me. I've said for over the last number of years now that any sort of player that's at even level, he should be given onside.
Nothing
And
wrong
I
with
think it'd be the good of the game, Dave, because we're going to see more goals. If there's an element of doubt, give the sort of the advantage to the forwards, so we'll see more goals.
Well, we're hoping for more goals in this second half. The Tottenham fans are enjoying their afternoon in the sunshine, but they will remember that they led Arsenal here in the Carling Cup semi-final at half-time, and that ended all square. We'll have the second half for you when we come back. The race for the title continues this afternoon. Manchester United up against Middlesbrough, 5 o'clock, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. And tomorrow, we're at St James's Park for Newcastle against Chelsea, 1 o'clock, Prem Plus and HD, channel 480. And for more information, call 08705 160 160. And here at White Hart Lane, Spurs lead by 1-0 over Arsenal. George, do you think that Arsenal need to show more desire in the second half?
Well, it's a local derby, and Arsenal never stop popping the ball around. They play their good football, but now's the time for the leadership qualities, and this is what I think they're missing. They're missing a Tony Adams, they're missing a Patrick Vieira, somebody to show that what local derbies are all about.
Can Spurs keep up their high-energy game they've been playing?
This is the problem they've got, because if they keep retreating and let Arsenal have the ball all day, they're going to actually have to work very hard for the next 45 minutes.
Here we go then for the second half. Back to our commentators, Tony Gale and Alan Parry.
Thanks, Dave. It'll be Arsenal who get us underway. They haven't lost to their local rivals since November 1999, a 2-1 defeat here. And Spurs, by the way, are unbeaten in all their London derby games this season, and that includes a 2-1 victory at White Hart Lane against Chelsea back in November. Arsenal, in contrast, have only won one of theirs against their capital city rivals, and that was Charlton. Gilberto. Derby caught in possession early on, but the long legs of his skillful enough to win it back. Fabregas, who came on as a first-half substitute for the injured Ljungberg. Rosicki, Diaby, and on to Clichy. Not enough pace on the return ball, and not enough pace for it to go out of play as quick as Chimbonda wanted. Calm play, though, by Tottenham. To that moment, Dawson presents it straight to Gilberto. And here he is again, the Brazilian. Oh, just scuffed it, pulled it wide.
Another player like Zakora who gets in those advanced positions and then the finishing doesn't match the ability to get into those positions. Lovely little ball there, wasn't it, from Pleb? And he just pulls the shot via the deflection.
There's corner of the second half then to Arsenal. Their fans packed behind the goal, they're attacking in this half. Robinson comes and makes a good clean catch.
A little bit of a difference from the other end. Raymond gets so perturbed by forwards in and around him. Robinson not causing a fuss, and even if he is worried about it, the vital thing is not to show it, because then other strikers, of course, are just beyond you all the time.
first. Gilberto shakes off Genus. Diaby. Fabregas. Clichy's got Rosicki inside. I think Chimbonda got his foot to that. Clichy is claiming a corner, but he looks around, he's going to be disappointed.
I say, look favourite. I think this is the way for Arsenal to get in down the sides, because Spurs are content really to funnel them down the middle. We saw a Bowie get in with a give and go. There it is there. That one looks for me through to the corner, coming off Chimbonda. Getting down the sides with those little give and goes. Bowie did it in the first half, little give and go with Fabregas, and then you saw Clichy nearly did it down the left-hand side. Spurs want to funnel them in the middle and try and get down the sides and double up with those fullbacks.
What a ball there, Berbatov to Lennon. Keane. Needs help. Maybe not. Still got his cross in. Up behind.
Two strikers very, very comfortable on the ball. In the end, not the best of balls from Robbie Keane into the area, but try and kind of stand still. They've got that lovely little bit of awareness in and around them when defenders are tight and they can turn, and when they need to play 1 and 2 touch.
Caught in possession. Fabregas takes it on. Oh, that was a good recovery. But he's lost out again. More cut and thrust to the start of this second half. More like a local derby, perhaps.
Well, it's better from Arsenal, Alan. They've obviously had the call from Wenger and Pat Rice at half-time. I saw Pat Rice at half during that first half saying, press in. You know, stop Spurs playing, stop them building up. Really try and press in, condense that play, and if you nick the ball off of them, that's as good as having an 8-pass movement, really, to create a goal. Nick possession of Spurs, you're straight into them.
Toure. Easy for Dawson. Arsenal starting the second half the way Tottenham started the first. King's clearance, Adebayor will be happy to let that run for a throw. Tottenham gratefully accept the gift. Good ball out to Lennon. Toure comes to face him. On to Keane. Back to Lennon again. Good interception though by William Gallas, who finds Diaby. Russia's tackle. Not quite sure why. Maybe a handball there as he slid on the ground. But it's a free kick.
Diaby just tried to flick it beyond him and it caught his hand, Alan, but I think it's going to open up nicely now. Arsenal going to do most of the attacking. Spurs will be playing on the break. Quick on the wing there with Lennon, and they've got Keane and Berbatov as well. It's going to create a bigger pitch to play in for me. A better game.
And Diaby taking on Russia well here. Another corner.
That's a side, I think, where they can get at Spurs. Russia at left back. Obviously not his natural position, he's a centre-back. Wasn't asked many questions in that first half, was he?
The referee again is clamping down on the usual shenanigans in the 6-yard box. Dawson! Still a chance for Tottenham. Glad wins it back. And it's set up for Rosicki. Good save.
And there we see the weakness of Spurs, Alan, defending at set pieces. Ditto. Arsenal struggling to defend them, and then Spurs.
Toure and Dawson climbing together, and it almost produced an Arsenal equaliser here.
Well, it was a great climb, wasn't it? Up gets Toure, gets his header in, cannons off the post. Beats Robbie Keane, the defender, on the post. And that look all ends up a goal. Spurs have had a couple of little bits of luck now. So it's twice that Spurs have hit the post.
Dawson wins that header against Adebayor, on by Fabregas. Rocha. Lennon, the early outlet in this second half for Tottenham. Manas, with maybe the sun in his eyes, did well to watch that ball all the way. Diaby's given it away.
You're going to see 2-on-2 on a lot of occasions now. Toure and Gallas, they're going to be asked to do a lot of the last chunk of that defending. Clichy, they really get forward on the wide sides, coming down to help their wide players. Those two are going to be asked more questions.
Here's Rosicki for Arsenal. Genius just nicked it away in time. Fabregas. Now Gilberto. Adebayor. Clem. Fabregas hits it! Well, he's been in terrific form of late. In front of goal, 2 goals in his last 2 games.
Well, that's where they want him, in and around that penalty area. They want more goals from Fabregas. You can see getting into that position. Arsenal pressing again, but just slightly hitting across that one. There's a corner kick again, and Toure climbing really well. That's a great header. Beats Robbie Keane on the post. Comes off the post. It's twice now that Arsenal have hit the post. Abui in that first half, Toure in the second. And a little bit unfortunate.
And not often that Dawson's beaten to the ball in the air. Tanio's got a problem here. As has Abu Diaby. Welcome break for both sets of players on this hot day. Chance to take on some water.
Here's Robbie Keane's goal from the first half. Great climb from Dawson it was from the set piece. Lehmann had his problems with previous corners, but not that one. Couldn't be blamed for that one, but I must admit his actions, I think, cause a little bit of unsettledness in that Spurs, in that Arsenal defence, sorry. There's Robbie Keane, just making that vital half yard, just peeling off a Clichy. If you make a half a yard in the box, you're going to finish from headers like that.
Well, 10 minutes into the second half, and Arsenal have dominated that 10 minutes. Fabregas. Look at the space for Gilberto here. He's got to use it better than that, though. Clem. Cries of frustration from the Tottenham fans. As Dawson just about nicks it away from Adebayor. Well, here's one man you'd want playing on his own up front at the moment. Top holding it up well and playing it into Lennon. Zakora. Raymond felt he couldn't risk following that all the way. Well, he just threw that one in, unlike Berbatov. Arsenal have it back again with Cesc Fabregas.
That's a difference for Arsenal second half now. Part of that first half, you know, Fabregas getting on the ball and playing the ball that split second quicker and seeing the pass that split second quicker. Certainly going to speed the game up for Arsenal.
For Jens Lehmann after that first half incident. Abui. Clem to his right, Diaby ahead of him. And he couldn't find either.
Eboue and Clichy getting forward on right and left sides for Arsenal now, and that's what they've got to do. Great driving run, final pass didn't match it though.
Frustration again for Arsene Wenger. Genus. Chimbonda. Diaby with a lovely little ball. Adebayor onto Rosicki. They should have done better there, Rosicki. Zakora.
Good pressing again though, isn't it, Alan, from Arsenal, nicking the ball in the Spurs half. Doing that much better.
Lennon forced backwards and gets the free kick. Eboue snapping away at his heels. Berbatov's header, and no problem for Lehmann. I think the home fans here have picked up on the fact that Tottenham are playing a much more withdrawn game at the start of the second half. As Diaby loses Zakora with a clever little change of pace. Adebayor, Gilberto. Here's Clichy. Will this be the moment Arsenal break through? Diaby. Clichy's cross was a good one, and Adebayor hits the bar.
Oh, 2 posts and 1 crossbar. They're awfully close without scoring, aren't they? This is a difficult header, it's behind him, Adebayor, but he still gets enough power in that beats Robinson and comes off the bar. Great cross by Clichy, getting to the dead ball line again. And there it goes. The woodwork to the rescue of Spurs. So important for those full-backs to get forward though, and what a difference it's made second half, hasn't it? Clichy and Eboue really getting forward down those flanks.
The injury a few moments ago to Tainio has obviously taken its toll. The Finnish international goes off to be replaced by Steve Malbron. Berbatov. Malbron gets his first touch, and it's a good one. Back to Berbatov. Oh, well, he scored a goal with a weaving run similar to that at Wigan last week. Diaby. Ankle injury has forced Tainio back onto the bench, incidentally. Kleb. There's Gilberto. Chimbonda came round the back to rob him. Rosicki gets it back from Adebayor, just behind him though. Now Gilberto. That took a deflection, it's a corner.
Oh, they're on the ropes, looking for the knockout punch now, aren't they, Arsenal? Really getting forward in numbers, getting their shots away. Slight deflection there away for a corner off of Genus. Arsenal really pushing now in this second half, Alan, and they deserve their equaliser, but they've got to score while they're having so much pressure.
Adebayor climbs high again. He scored 3 goals in 2 games against Tottenham this season, and he could have added to that total more than once today.
Well, he's up highest here, but he can't really keep it down. There's the attentions of 2 Spurs defenders there. Both centre-backs, Ledley King, Michael Dawson. Very difficult to get that one on target. That's 7 attempts for Spurs, 12 for Arsenal. Only the 1 on target for Arsenal, 2 for Spurs.
Words being exchanged, and the referee will calm that down between Berbatov and Touré.
Well, Berbatov's got to be careful. He's already been booked for nothing in the first half. They're just backing into Touré, stopping him jumping. They've had trouble with him all afternoon. Fabregas knows how to get under the flight of the ball and stop defenders attacking it. It's a real art. Shearer was brilliant at it. Just run towards the flight of the ball, stop dead in your tracks, defenders come over the top of you, bang, it's a foul. Berbatov's got the art as well.
Downward header finds Rosicki. Spurs in a tangle for a moment. And again, three players went for the same ball. But the free kick has gone against a disbelieving Diaby. Thrown away there, really. I don't know what's going on. The referee's called them back anyway. But it was Tottenham's fault. They took the free kick too hastily. Mr. Dean's been kind to them. Chimbonda. Just came off Lennon's heel. Rosicki. Adebayor. Was he brought down there, Rosicki, by Genius? The referee decides yes.
He passes it in there, Adebayor follows his run. And Genius just caught him with his arm. Wasn't a lot in it though, was it?
Well, they've won a few headers from set pieces early on in the second half, Arsenal. The normally commanding Dawson beaten by Toure a few minutes ago. And then Adebayor hitting the crossbar in the last couple of minutes. Fabregas lifts it in and all the way through. They have equalised. It's Toure.
Well, he's done this before. He just sneaks round the back and Spurs getting driven back from the free kick and he's all on his own. Robinson has no chance to react. It's a flighted ball from Fabregas. Look, he just drifts round the back. I think it's Chimbonda marking him on the far post. He just doesn't watch him. Look, he just lets him go. And all he is now is aware when the ball's in the back of the net. What is Chimbonda doing? He's marking him there. Then all of a sudden he must think the ball's going to be won. But he's left his man. He's not offside, Toure. He finishes quite well. He's so close to Robinson that he can't get his hands down in time. But Chimbonda, he just went fast asleep. And that's the story of Spurs' season. Set pieces, conceded.
They've shot themselves in the foot again. The 49th goal they've conceded this season, the worst record in the top half of the Premiership. And Arsenal looking for a second straight away.
Well, you can't say that Arsenal haven't deserved it this second half, and they really come out the traps. They pressed Spurs, kept them in their own half and in and around these areas, kept the game really quick. Spurs were allowed to keep the ball in that first half. Not this second. They've been pressing in. They've kept it at a nice, fast tempo, and they deserve that equaliser.
Well, what a finish we have on our hands now. It's going to be another Arsenal change meantime. Time for the Beast, as he's nicknamed. Julio Baptista coming on. He scored 2 goals against Tottenham in the Carling Cup tie here in January. In fact, 3, because he also scored an own goal that night, and he will replace Tomas Rosicki.
It looks like Diaby, who's just come out to this left-hand side, so he starts in the centre of midfield, pushes up front, then on the left. Nice and versatile. Sign of a good footballer.
Once again, Tottenham failed to keep a clean sheet. Fabregas, the early ball for Diaby. Adebayor, and Dawson pulled up then. The moment he cleared that ball, still limping. You'd be concerned about that. Given away by Fabregas. Dawson still in a bit of trouble as Zakora takes Tottenham forward. Leonard. Here's Malbron. Good tackle, Diaby. Dawson seems to have recovered his poise again. We'll see, because Adebayor's about to take him on. Baptista. That was his first touch, and he had a sight of goal. Dawson, I think, is struggling still. Fabregas. Big battle going on between him and King. The referee lets play go on, and then Berbatov is brought down.
There's the one player at the moment in the Spurs side, Berbatov, who still looks relaxed on the ball. Everybody else is a little bit of a hot potato, and they're beginning to panic. Arsenal putting the squeeze on. They're struggling to really cope with the pace of Arsenal pressing in and reacting on their first touch and nicking the ball off them. There's another good chance there for Baptista. Good break out of Bayor. Pleb. Baptista really not the best of finishes, but they need to get a bit of support up to Berbatov and get going the other way. At the moment, they're just sitting back in their own half and they're being pressed in and they can't get out.
And here come the Gunners again. Pleb. Bronk did well, but Boy momentarily kept possession and indeed wins the throw.
There's Dawson, just as Baptista shot here, he came out to get the block in. That's not a handball for me. Good block, but I think Baptista's got to do better. He had a couple of yards there, maybe could have had another touch. Should have at least hit the target.
Albron. One back by Fabregas. And space here for Baptista.
Well, that is poor. Great pass from Fabregas again, playing that split second earlier than everyone else, finding players in the pocket, allowing Baptista to turn, but it really is a poor finish, and I think that's what he's been since he's been at Arsenal, Baptista. I know he got that hat-trick at Anfield, but he really hasn't been the best of finishes for me.
Well, he's only scored twice in the Premiership. One of those came as recently as Tuesday against Manchester City. Arsenal free kick again, handball by Malbron.
Just diving in, trying to nick the ball there, catches the trailing hand. Malbron as he goes to ground.
Gilberto has been an increasing influence on this game in the second half. Adebayor. Now it's fallen to Tottenham. Berbatov. Albron. Berbatov holds off the first challenge. Genus. Will Malbron reach it in time? Yes. He's done well here, Malbron. Keane coming in near post. And Arsenal's goal scorer, Kolo Toure, furious with his teammates.
It's the best way to defend for me, Alan, is to get forward, to get the ball up the other end in Arsenal's half. Really lacks support in this second half, Berbatov.
Dawson has clearly recovered from that tweak that he had a few minutes ago. His ball floated in. Not a good one. He's got a back pedal now. Abu Dhabi. Baptista. Clichy. Diaby. Then moves it on quickly to Abue. Fabregas takes over. Clever little return ball for Abue. And Adebayor near post.
Well, it's nearly a replica of the first half movement, isn't it? Clichy just being bundled into the holdings. But Abue gets down that right-hand side. It's great. Gets down the right-hand side. Fabregas always comes square, then just nicks it in behind. It's the perfect 1-2. He's got the momentum. Again, he loses his marker, but there's no one really in there to find. And see, he slides it across the area, and they've all checked back for the cutback. Nowhere to go, really. But a great give and go. Nearly unstoppable.
Aaron Lennon being taken off. And on in his first place, Tom Huddleston, who's missed the last couple of games with a knee injury. Very different sort of player. He'll sit in the middle of the park and try and control things. Eboué okay again.
Well, they seem to have been parked in the Spurs half, don't they? Eboué and Clichy this second half. Big difference. Those fullbacks getting forward, so comfortable in possession and really difficult to stop when they're coming from deep positions and they've got the momentum going forward against defenders.
Gina's doing well there to feed it into Malbron. Keane's making his run, but he's offside. Referee says play on. Diaby. All Arsenal at the moment. Gilberto. Fabregas. On to Hleb. Batista and Adebayor in the penalty area. And Gilberto's there too.
Well, again, that final shot isn't clinical enough. Has much too much of a swing at it for me. Good pace on the cut back from Hleb. Just needs to really hit a side foot a curler. And again, Josh tries to strike too hard through the ball and he mishits it.
Race for the championship. Gathers pace. Manchester United against Middlesbrough, 5 o'clock tonight. Sky Sports 1 and high definition. And on the Prem Plus channel tomorrow, it's Newcastle against Chelsea from 1 o'clock. His first contribution disappointed. Spurs have yet to produce an attempt on Lehmann's goal in this second half. There's another one coming at the other end here with Adebayor. Maybe not.
What a ball from Fabregas. Amazing ball, isn't it?
Hleb. Adebayor. Another lovely ball, Fabregas picking out Clichy. Batista. Oh, that was sloppy, really sloppy from Hleb. Berbatov, now Bronk ahead of it. Berbatov goes for the return and he's played it in right behind him. Hleb can atone for his earlier error. Well played, Dawson. Open game now, moving into the last 15 minutes. Still, Spurs are giving away possession cheaply. Eboué seems to be struggling again for Arsenal in the right-back position. It's just pulled up and stopped on the halfway line. Here he is. Didn't really want it then.
I think it's where he hurt his ankle. Well, and when he got to the dead ball line, he made that give and go with Fabregas and twisted his ankle.
Still got one substitute up his sleeve, Arsene Wenger. Fabregas, Diaby. And inadvertently he's played it to Berbatov. Well, he's not quick, Berbatov, but he has that sudden change of pace that can take him away like that.
That's absolutely brilliant, and he's surrounded by 5 players and still keeps possession of the ball. He's got no support at all at the moment. They're leaving on his own up front there, but he just still retains possession of the ball. Incredible player. I think he's settled down into the Premiership so quickly. Normally foreign players take a season or so, but he's into it so quick, isn't he? Can only get better as well. It's frightening.
Here's Diaby. Arsenal going for victory here. Gilberto. Batista. Onto Eboué. Hleb. Eboué's recovered now. He's made a very good run forward. And Fabregas almost got there. Ledley King with a brave challenge.
It was well read by Ledley King as well. We saw the burst from Fabregas from midfield and just picked up the runner coming through. Great little reverse pass from Hleb. Great reading of the game from Ledley King.
That's a foul.
Just a little nutmeg here, I think. You can see they've already through the legs of Huddleston, and he follows through with the challenge.
Well, as we've seen so often this season, Tottenham can be vulnerable from set pieces. Ledley King to improve things in that degree. It'll be hard in the mouth time as this one comes in. Adebayor's header sails into the top corner, and Arsenal might well have won it again against their old rivals.
It's just absolutely incredible. It's nearly a free header, Alan. They just keep conceding goals from set pieces. It's a good header from Adebayor. It's a chipped ball in from Fabregas. It hasn't got a lot of pace on it. It's a good header, but there's got to be more of a challenge on him. You can see there he comes, peeling off to the far post, gets up, surrounded by defenders, but it's not a good attempt at heading the ball. Look, that begets Adebayor. Robinson's really got no chance. Great header from Adebayor, but the challenge has got to be better than that. Got to be better than that. Genius and Rocha have got to get in a better challenge. And again, Spurs pay the price. Bad defending at set pieces, and Arsenal deservedly go into the lead.
Well, what a game for Adebayor. He had a goal disallowed for offside in the first half, not offside against him. He's hit the bar. He missed a reasonably simple chance as well in the first 45 minutes. But now he has hit the back of the net with his 4th goal this season against Tottenham. That is an entry in the Hall of Fame as far as Arsenal fans are concerned. Zakura, Malbron, on to Keane. The return for Malbron, great tackle by Toure. Fabregas. And it's a fixture that never lets you down, this one. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two at White Hart Lane have been drawn. The other one was that 5-4 classic. Diaby. Arsenal full value for their lead now. Clichy, Gilberto, who for me has been brilliant in linking things together in this second half. The ball over the top by Fabregas, finds Glenn. Huddleston stabs it away, not too convincingly though. Boué, poor ball, straight back to Huddleston. Zakura, meant for Berbatov, picked off by Gallas. Baptista. Oh, it's great football now from Arsene Wenger's side. What a way to prove that the off-the-field goings-on and effective matters on the field, where it really matters.
Well, it's been a great game, hasn't it? Really open game, fast game. Amazing that, well, not really amazing, is it, that the 3 goals come from set pieces? Both teams had their trouble defending them. 3 goals from set pieces. And consider that Arsenal have hit the woodwork 3 times as well. I think they fully deserve this lead now. The second half has just been all about them, hasn't it?
Can Tottenham come back in the last 10 minutes? Will we get a repeat of the Carling Cup scoreline here? King's clearance. Huddleston, good control. King had to go backwards. Arsenal have now let in 50 goals this season. That tells its own story. And they've kept the fewest number of clean sheets of any team in the Premiership. If they're to improve next season, it is quite clear where the priorities should lie. Malbron. He's just come forward and returns it to Malbron. It's a good take by Lehmann.
Well, that's a shame because they haven't got many of those positions in this second half. Got to the dead ball line, Malbron. On his weaker side, his left side, but should be a better cross than this. Far too close to Lehmann.
Of 7 years for Tottenham to beat Arsenal looks like continuing unless Jermaine Defoe can do something about it here. to replace Didier Zokora. He doesn't have a very lucky record against the Gunners. He's never been on the winning team against them in 10 games for West Ham and Spurs. Time for thought.
Well, Robbie Keane comes out to this right-hand side. He normally reverts to right or left when Defoe comes on to join Berbatov. Maybe Jermaine Defoe can spark this maybe final 8 minutes or so and try and get the equaliser, but don't really deserve it this second half, do they? Arsenal have been magnificent. Fabregas in particular for me, just in the middle of the park since he's come on. I know he's had the virus, Alan, but absolutely superb. Is there a better passer with the ball in the Premiership than him? What a player.
Robinson delivers long to Berbatov. Defoe gets his first touch, not a very successful one. This could certainly be a damaging defeat for Tottenham in their quest for a UEFA Cup place. They've got a difficult run-in, including 3 games in 7 days in the final week of the season. They play Monday, Thursday, and so did the linesman's flag.
Well, he could have took that one on, couldn't he? Even though he was offside. Here's his goal, though. Really score enough headers for me for the size that he is, but there he comes, just coming into the back, and Rocha and Genus both let him go. No one made contact even with him. If you're not going to win the ball, you have to make contact, but there you go. He loves his Arsenal, he says.
Huddleston. Rocha. Room for Chimbonda. Everyone's running away from him, though. Ellison. King. He slid in, but Bronk evaded that challenge. A bit heavy the ball for Chimbonda, invited the sliding tackle by Clichy. Now Bronk. Good run by Genus. Equally fine tackle by Gilberto, just gone for a throw. Here's Chimbonda. Genus. Charged down again by Clichy.
Well, there's that look of here we go again from Spurs, isn't there, Alan? You know, but where are we going to get the goal from? It's not convincing at the moment, is it?
Offside. It's been a very difficult week for Arsene Wenger, losing his closest ally in the boardroom, David Dean. And it looks, at the moment, as though it's going to end with success. And the hierarchy, the remaining hierarchy at Arsenal, will be very happy about this display, I'm sure. Whether David Dean's here, I've met many times over the years, and I have to say I've always felt that he's had Arsenal's best interests at heart. Now then, how did the referee view that collision?
Well, the Spurs fans booing Jermaine Defoe for kicking the ball off. I think he realises that Toure did get a knock there.
Stray elbow rather than a malicious one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it didn't look much on a Bouet, did it? I think he was just getting his arm up in the air, Defoe, just to get that leverage. There wasn't a swinging arm on it. Good sportsmanship getting the ball out. But I don't think the Spurs fans thought that way.
Well, Martin Jol has never beaten Arsenal in his time in English football as a player or a manager. And it looks like it's going a similar way again. Arsenal hold on to their lead here. They'll move on to 65 points and go back into 3rd place, 1 point above Liverpool, who play at home to Wigan Athletic later. King. Robinson looking for Berbatov down the left. His header. There doesn't seem to be much conviction about Tottenham that they can rescue anything here. He's not convinced, that's for sure.
Well, there's the same look about the fans as there is about the team. Here we go again, got ourselves into a good position. And we've blown it. Blown it by poor marking at set pieces for me. Although Arsenal have been very, very good in the second half. If you still defend the set pieces properly, you keep a clean sheet.
And here's another one they've got to defend. On the ground this time by Fabregas to Hleb. Slip a ball by Fabregas. Rocha moves it out though to Alexander Hleb. Here's Adebayor. Sets it up invitingly for Hleb. All about hitting it. Or maybe he should have done. Good tackle to win it back though. Looks like they've run out of steam, Tottenham.
I think that's a weakness of Hleb. I think he's an excellent player, great quick feet, but thinks about shooting. I think that's all he does. He thinks about it and then he sets someone up. I think sometimes he should fire away when he comes in on his left foot or his right foot, because you can score scrappy goals through defenders' legs or just dribbling into the corner, but he never fires on the off chance.
Adebayor's done brilliantly here and still gets the ball back to Baptista. Oh dear, he's about, what, 10 yards wide of target.
Dear, oh dear. That's what I was talking about his finishing. Adebayor gets a little bit of good fortune over there with Rocha. And you can see he cuts it back here. And that's a terrible header, isn't it? Got both feet up off the floor, doing a kind of bunny jump. And the header's nowhere near it.
Tottenham still in grave danger of failing to finish in the Premiership's top 7, and that would be a huge disappointment in a season that's held so much promise. Quarter-finals of the UEFA Cup, remember, and the FA Cup, semi-finals of the Carling Cup. Here's Berbatov. Can he rescue them here? We're in the last minute, and Adebayor, who might well have won the game for Arsenal, will try and keep the ball. Something he's done very well, and he was fouled.
Well, that's exactly what you want the strikers to do when you're running down the clock. You win the headers. Rocha was favourite, ran the ball in the corner, kept the ball in the corner, enticed the foul, got the foul, and just about run down that clock.
Fabregas in no hurry to take the free kick. Time to applaud the visiting Arsenal fans. They reciprocate. Now can he stick it on Adebayor or Diaby's head here? Not like that, he won't. 4 minutes of stoppage time. That will give a little lift to Tottenham. Berbatov. Chimbonda has stayed forward. Keane. Just when he needed a good ball, he couldn't find one. Baptista went down in a collision with Huddleston off the ball. Here's Adebayor. Left. Baptista. Well played, Gilberto. He's been immense in this second half. Diaby. Fabregas. Baptista. Maybe stoppage time. They may have a slender lead, but even the fullbacks like Abue feel free to come forward. Tottenham's throw though. Huddleston. Wonderful control and a lovely ball by Berbatov to Huddleston. Oh dear, it deserved a better fate.
I can see Berbatov, he's exasperated. I think he's the one player in this second half who has kept the ball well and retained possession and looked as cool and composed as the Arsenal players. He really hasn't had that support.
Not the result they needed at the end of what was ultimately looking to be a season of disappointment. Victory in the offing for Arsenal that you would imagine would just about cement a Champions League place for them. But it's not over yet. Substitution by Arsenal before Tottenham can take the throw. Philippe Senderos, who also came on very late against Manchester City in the week. And he's going to replace Alexander Clerc.
Who hasn't had the best of games, I don't think, but I suppose this is about as negative as you'll see Wenger. A minute and a half to go, and he brings on a defender for an attacker. Well, it's just all about all-out attack with Arsenal, isn't it? But Senderos just coming on maybe to win a few of the final set pieces.
Chimbonda's long throw. Back to him by Dawson. He's still there, the big centre-half. Pokes one through dangerously. Lehmann with a very uncertain punch away. And the whistle goes for an Arsenal free kick to their huge relief. And Lehmann's, well, almost embarrassment.
Well, he gets in a right state again, doesn't he, Lehmann? Haven't been in it, Spurs, and then he comes out and he makes this mistake and he gets away with it. Toure up into the air, and what is he doing here? Look at that. Chocolate wrist just flapping it away. Eventually they get the foul, Arsenal, but it's all created by that mistake again.
Huddleston finds Malbron. This might be the last attack, the last opportunity for Tottenham to save some face here. Genus. Dawson. Referee's glanced at his watch. Chimbonda. Genus. Malbron. Genus hits it! Oh, what a goal! And what a moment to score it!
That is an absolute wonder strike from Jermaine Genus. Totally out the blue. Secures a point for Spurs. And look, everybody loves it. The stewards, the fans, everyone. It's not what they deserve, but what a strike. An absolute wonder strike. Catches it pure as anything. And Lehmann, I have to say, has absolutely no chance. He's looking there and he knows it was a great strike. Just gets that lovely little bit of bend on the ball as well. You can see he sets it in, goes for the give and go. And look at that for a strike. Right into the corner. Set up by Malbron, a wonder strike from Jermaine Genus. Just hits across the ball slightly, may start a little bit further outside and comes back in. A great strike of the football. Doesn't he love it, Martin Jol?
A picture of contrast there on the bench. There'll only just about be enough time for the restart. Jermaine Genus has scored 8 goals now, the best total of his career. And if that wasn't the best goal of his career, it's certainly the most important and the most satisfying against Arsenal. It's all over. A classic again at White Hart Lane between these two great North London rivals. That was absorbing from first minute to last seconds indeed. They're off the hook, Tottenham. If they're honest with themselves, they were within, well, seconds obviously of losing the game, and really you would have to say that Arsenal probably deserved their victory, but Tottenham have shown remarkable character to hang on in there and rescue a point with virtually the last kick of the game. Arsenal will go off feeling they've lost this. Tottenham will go off feeling they've won it. In truth, they get a point each. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Arsenal 2.
4 minutes and 7 seconds of injury time before JJ came to the party. He left it late, but you can just see what that goal means to the Tottenham players, their manager there, and of course those fans who thought they had seen Arsenal steal the points from White Hart Lane again. Still, they haven't managed to beat them. The count goes on. It's 18 games now, but at least for Martin Jol, he has got a precious point, and it means so much more as well in terms of the chase for UEFA Cup places as far as Spurs are concerned. As Anna was saying, Arsenal will feel like they've beaten here. Killer blow at the end of a difficult week for them. They are still 4th behind Liverpool, who play Wigan this afternoon. They do have a 9-point cushion over Everton and Bolton. Spurs sneak into 7th place. That would be good enough for a European place. They've played the same amount of games as Portsmouth, 1 point behind, and Reading 2 behind. They play this afternoon. Portsmouth in action tomorrow. And there's more football to come, more drama no doubt as well in the race for the title. Manchester United, Middlesbrough, 5 o'clock, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. And tomorrow we're back at St James's Park for Newcastle, Chelsea, 1 o'clock, Prem Plus and Prem Plus HD. That's channel 480. For more information, call 08705 160 160. When we come back, we'll get the thoughts of George Graham, who remains the last Spurs manager to beat Arsenal. But my goodness me, a late twist here at White Hart Lane. Thanks to Jermaine Genius. Analysis and reaction when we come back. "99 goals in Spurs Premiership season, 4 more today. Keane gave them a half-time lead. Kolo Touré got Arsenal back in it. Adebayor thought he'd won it for Arsenal. And then late, very late, genius from Genius. He's with the man of the match, Dimitar Berbatov, and both are with Guy Havord.
What a finish, Jermaine. Congratulations. What a goal.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I mean, we didn't play that well, throughout the second half. Didn't really deserve much, but thankfully enough, we've popped up at the end with a nice goal.
Celebrations at the end. It was almost as if you won it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the feeling was that we didn't really expect much from the second half, the way we was playing. It was Arsenal, to be honest, to be fair to them, was controlling most of the game. And then, obviously, for us to come back and get a point from it at the end, it was almost like a winning goal.
Dimitar, Tottenham started so well in the first half. What happened afterwards?
What happened? I don't know. It's a thing in football when, I say many times we must think when we play, and sometimes we don't do that. And we let Arsenal take the initiative, and they scored 2 goals from free kicks, I think. And it's stupid. We don't need to allow this kind of goals if you want to achieve something in the future.
It's a positive, though, is it, for Tottenham to get something out of this game in the end?
You can say so, but I think we easily can win the game. And like I say, if you want to continue to grow up like a team, we must clear all mistakes.
Jermaine, what will Tottenham get out of this draw?
Well, when you score late goals, it gives you a lift as a team. But I think Dimitar's, he's right in what he's saying. We've conceded 2 sloppy goals and 2 more set pieces, which we need to sort out really.
It's putting your UEFA Cup position next season in doubt, isn't it? All these goals you're conceding.
Well, we're conceding goals, but we're scoring them, which is thankful enough as well. We're still on course, to clinch a UEFA spot.
And Dimitar, finally, how are you enjoying your first season? You've impressed a lot of us.
Oh, thanks. But I just try to help my team with the game, with my goals. So, and I hope they continue this way. And the first thing is to qualify for the Europe next season, and I still think that we can do that.
OK, well, you are the Barclaycard man of the match. Jermaine, if you'd like to make the presentation, please.
Thank you.
Thanks, boys.
Jermaine Genius's late goal felt like a winner for the Spurs fans, but clearly not for Dimitar Berbatov.
I thought he nearly fell over there. He was so laid back, Dave, But,
why is he so frustrated, George?
I thought he was very frustrated. I thought today he was probably head and shoulders above everybody else on the pitch. Pure class, great technician, great awareness, good vision, and just fantastic game he had today. I mean, I've seen him a few times this season, Dave. He's definitely much better at White Hart Lane. For me, even though with his abilities, his first season, this is only he's only scored nine goals in the Premier League. Although he's got another 11 in Europe, but I think that's a poorer standard there.
He clearly feels his teammates should be matching his level of performance.
I think actually Tottenham still need to strengthen quite a few positions. I think this season, I think they've missed. Paul Robinson's had an in and out season. I think Ledley King, they've missed him badly, and I think they need a left back, and that's just at the defence.
But it is 50 goals they've conceded now in the Premiership. Only 5 teams have conceded more. Is that where the problems lie?
That tells you the whole story, doesn't it? You cannot concede that number of goals and still thinking, you know, you've got a great opportunity to get into the top 6. If you're conceding that many, it means you've got to score a lot more. They have been scoring quite a lot recently, Tottenham, but you can't do that week in, week out. You've got to have solidity at the back and then start moving the quality into midfield, which I think they need to strengthen the midfield, because they were overrun in the second half. Arsenal were absolutely back to their best.
But if the week that Arsenal have had, are they going to feel like they've been beaten here?
Yes, definitely, without question. I thought the first half, I thought they played with maybe a lack of commitment, a lack of passion. Second half, I don't know what Arsene said, but whatever he said, it definitely worked at half-time, because Arsenal were absolutely superb, back to their best. I think the tempo of their passing was top class. 1 and 2 touch, moving the ball much too quickly for the Spurs midfield. And let's be honest, with a bit of luck, they hit the woodwork 3 times. They could have run out easy winners at the finish.
Well, Robbie Keane gave Spurs the half-time lead, the 6th time in 9 North London derbies. Are they worthy of that half-time advantage?
Yes, I thought they were. I thought they were the better team, and even though Arsenal scored, I thought, a good goal, which was offside. But Cleese left Robbie Keane here. You can just see Robbie on his own, little header. It's a good striker's goal, what I call a sniffer's goal, inside the 6-yard box. And I think they deserved it at that time. I thought they had a good first half, Tottenham.
Similar kind of equaliser, another sniffer's goal, if you like, but from a more unlikely source, Kolo Touré for Arsenal. And you were surprised, George, the amount of set pieces they were getting, and
well, everybody, yeah, exactly.
Problems
yeah,
on.
Dave, everybody's been complaining since the season started, and even before that, about Arsenal very rarely score enough goals at set pieces. And here they are today. All of a sudden, they've got about 4 6'2", 6'3" players, but that is bad marking by Chimbonda. Chimbonda goes to sleep.
Does he think that somebody else is going to deal with
No,
that?
no, he purely ball watches. I mean, he should be side on. He should be watching the ball, and at the same time, just a little turn of the head, and he should be marking his man at the same time. So that whatever happens to the man he's marking, he's aware of it. But he just stood there, flat on, just looked at where the ball was and didn't have a clue where Touré was. Bad marking.
What about Arsenal's second goal? Because Spurs have got 2 centre-halves, 6'2" plus, really, Ledley King and Michael Dawson. But they're not in the picture.
Yeah, but Tony brought up a good point in commentary, actually. He says that Adebayor, he's 6'4", 6'5". He should be winning headers. I mean, I think it's Dawson. Dawson gets up. What is it, Dawson? No, it's Huddleston. I think here, is it? No.
It's Huddleston's been left at the back there with Jermaine Genius as well, and Russia trying to get involved too.
Yeah, but he's going to win his percentage of headers at 6'4". I mean, I think he should win a lot more. But again, a header from Arsenal, you know, it's a rare occasion.
2-2 it was in the 94th minute and 7 seconds. Where did this one come from, George?
This is unbelievable. But look at Fabregas, who was brilliant in the second half. He goes to sleep. He just closes the ball down. Watch Fabregas here now. He just goes. Genius gives it and goes. Look at Fabregas. Hasn't got a clue where Genius is. And I just thought maybe he was a little bit jaded. The game was won. There's no way he's going to score from there.
No blame to the goalkeeper from that distance?
No. But Fabregas, who was the main reason, I thought, at half-time, bringing the team back into the game again, bringing Arsenal back into the game. But I thought he went to sleep there.
Tricky week for Arsene Wenger. We can hear from him now with Guy Havord.
Arsene, are you angry to lose that lead?
Yes, because we should have won by 5 goals difference, and it's frustrating. I couldn't see Tottenham creating many chances today. They scored 2 goals, and it's a bit the story of the season. We had a fantastic spirit, great quality in our game, but we have to learn to make the maximum of what we create, and of course, to come out of a game with the chance Tottenham created today and concede 2 goals is too many.
You really think you should have been 5 goals better than Tottenham?
Listen, we hit 3 times the post, and we had 2 or 3 crosses plus the shots. I think we should have scored at least 5 today.
So why, again, we've asked this question so many times, can't you put teams to bed?
Well, it's a little bit, I believe, confidence, maturity as well, and and the basic ingredients are fantastic, and we have to work and keep belief in what we do, because we produced some outstanding football today.
You really are starting to miss Van Persie and Henry in games like this, aren't you?
I believe that it would take some credit away from the strikers who played today. Of course, there are two outstanding players, but I'm very happy with the performance of our strikers today.
What did you tell the team at half-time? Because it was almost like the Carling Cup. You've been dominated in the first half, and then you dominated after the restart.
Well, I felt that we didn't dictate the game enough, and were a bit too cautious, and as well that Tottenham had given a lot in the first half, a lot of energy running, chasing the ball, and but certainly we could come out and have more of the game in the second half.
It's been a momentous week for Arsenal Football Club with the departure of David Dein. Did it feel like a new era today?
Well, we wanted, of course, to give a victory to David today, and of course it was an eventful week.
How worried are you that talk of the takeover will go on and maybe distract events on the pitch?
It will not distract you. I feel that you choose yourself, within the club and within the team, to focus on your own performances, no matter what happens, and that's part of being of a big club. It's always talk, or comes a superstar in your position, or is a takeover, or does something else happen. That's down to the mental strength of the team, and we have shown today that we have some.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Tricky week then for Arsene Wenger. Should have won by 5 today, George. Do you agree?
He's got a point saying he should have scored 5 goals, because, I mean, as I say, they hit the woodwork 3 times. I thought the offside goal, I personally think that should have been given. But Spurs were the better team in the first half. Arsenal back to their best in the second half. But we keep on talking about goals, Dave, and everybody forgets that Arsenal are the 3rd highest goal scorers in the league, and everybody keeps talking they don't score enough goals. What the problem is, they dominate games so much that they should be sort of not only scoring the goals they're scoring, they should be scoring more and conceding less. If they could only concede less, they would be up there, maybe not with Manchester United, because I think Manchester United have scored 20 more goals than Arsenal before today's game. So it's probably getting a bit tighter at the back, which I thought in the first half today, the both centre-halves were dragged all over the place by Berbatov and Robbie Keane. But they've got to tighten up at the back, and they've got to be more clinical with their finishing.
They've got 3 games to go. What would you like to see from Arsenal in these remaining 3 games? They could actually influence the title race still.
Yes, they could. But if they play like the way we know they can play, with that lovely tempo there, the passing and the movement at top class, I think they've got to get back to clean sheets, a couple of clean sheets at the back, and the goals they're scoring is enough. But they could score more.
As for Tottenham, they're in 7th place. Martin Jol has said he wanted 3 more wins to make sure of a European place. Can you see 3 wins out of those 4 games?
Yes. There's no reason why not. If they approach it in the right manner, that they've got to win the 3 games. That means they must. The 4 they've got to go out there with the intensity of trying to win it. I still think next season. I believe they were a better team last season, and I thought they were unlucky not to finish 4th last season when Arsenal just overtook them in the last game. I think they were much stronger last season. This season they have a good spell, and then they have a bad spell, and then a good spell. They're too inconsistent. I just think they need probably another 3 or 4 players.
Well, what has Martin Jol made of this late drama here today? Let's find out. He's with Guy Havord.
Martin, we've just spoken to Arsene Wenger. He believes that Arsenal should have won that game by 5 goals. I would imagine you see it slightly differently.
Yeah, if you convert all your chances every match, we could have won a couple of weeks ago against Bolton in the first half. We had 8 chances, we should have won 8-1, No, I'm kidding. But of course, they had 5 chances, and if you can convert all these chances, it would have been 5, but then the score would have been probably 5-3 or 5-4, because we had 2 good opportunities in the first half as well. And I thought we played excellent first half. They couldn't settle. We could take them on the break. Sometimes we had them on the back foot. We had good spells, but the second half, we looked flat. We looked tired, from last week when we had 3 or 4 games in 10 days. And we were pretty lucky to get a draw today.
It's happened before, hasn't it, against Arsenal? Is it psychological, do you think? You get into the lead and can't hang on to it?
Yeah, it was only 1-0 today, but it could be psychological. But on the other hand, we couldn't keep the ball. That is why I put Tom Huddlestone on. But even then, we couldn't keep the ball, you know. And first half we did fine. I thought Berbatov was having a very good game. Robbie Keane worked well with him in the first half. So I thought we did well. We did everything we asked from the boys. But the second half, as I said, we couldn't hold the ball. We looked a bit flat, yeah. And if you give them the opportunity, especially with Fabregas, I thought he came on and he did very well. Yeah, and you give them an initiative, and if you got Arsenal in your half, you ask for problems, and we never could get in their half. Maybe the last 5 minutes we did better, and then we scored the goal. So I think they can only blame themselves, you know. If it is 2-1, but if you see the goals, I thought we gave them a leg up, you know. If you concede a goal like that again, it's not the first time. Chimona should have stayed with Touré on the inside, on the ball side. He didn't do that. And the second goal I can live with, because Adebayor, 6'4", he's got a great leap, and my big guns, you know, they were probably on the other side, and Jenners had to deal with it, and he was jumping up, but Adebayor was big and had a good goal, so I can live with that.
Quite an equaliser, wasn't it, by Jermaine? 94 minutes. Had you given up hope?
If it is 2-1, you never give up hope. But they had a few opportunities, one on the post and one header with Adebayor in the last 5 minutes, I guess it was. And yeah, they could have scored 3-1. They didn't. And it's always, you know, a problem if you don't score. If you don't score the third one, they give us the opportunity to come back in the game, and they have only themselves to blame. You know, everybody said, you know, we should won, or we needed a win against them, but. You know, in my time, we already had 4 or 5 draws against them. So, I mean, I think in the end it was a maximum result. The only thing is, in the first half, I thought we did everything right. We played better than them. And then if you score 2 or 3 goals, we would have made it easier for ourselves.
Thanks, Martin.
OK, thank you.
Martin Jol admits that Spurs were a little bit lucky today. He said as well, George, that Spurs are getting closer to Arsenal. Do you agree?
No, I don't agree. I think unless they get these players, they've got influential players there. They've got Ledley and Dawson, who I think are a good partnership. I think they're very good, and they had an excellent season last season. They've got to keep Ledley fit to make a pair with those two. Chimbonda, yeah, is good enough at the full-back, very good going forward. They always seem to change the left back all the time. So I think they're definitely looking for a left back. Need to be stronger, a bit more quality in midfield, as well as a good ball winner in midfield. Because up front they've got some good forwards, and they've got lovely pace with Lennon on the right, and maybe they're looking for somebody on the left. But they're not far away. They're not far away, and they will look at it today and say, we've been outplayed. Totally outplayed in the second half, but we've not given in, and we've gone forward in the last 5 minutes to get the equaliser, and they've got it.
Final thought, George. Do you think that maybe somewhere out there David Dean's been watching?
I'm sure he has been watching, and I feel for him a little bit, yeah.
George, thanks very much. There is lots more football still to come. The race for the title. Manchester United against Middlesbrough, 5 o'clock, Sky Sports 1 and HD 1. Football first tonight, 8:25, Sky Sports 1. David Beckham could be back in action for Real Madrid against Valencia, 9 o'clock, Sky Sports Extra. They're trying to close a 5-point gap. And a choice of action right now on Sky Sports. The Cricket World Cup, West Indies against England on Sky Sports 2. It's farewell to Duncan Fletcher and a last chance as well to see Brian Lara in international cricket. Sky Sports 2 that way. You can also see semi-final action from the Monte Carlo Masters via the interactive red button. Right now there is Heineken Cup semi-final Rugby Union, Leicester up against Llanelli Scarlets, Sky Sports 3, and there's America's Cup sailing as well over on Sky Sports Extra. So it's the start of life without David Dean for Arsenal, but it's business as usual in the North London derby. 6 draws out of 7 now for these two teams. We're back tomorrow at St James's Park for Newcastle against Chelsea, and we hope to see you then.